Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Barakam to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar. Allah Bashim Yahshua to the sisters. I HK Minnesota, Officer and Priest Maccabi 5000 with the Lashawan Qadash, which is a language class. Today we are going to get into vocab words, all right? We are going to show the Hebrew and the English as well, as far as the Hebrew, just to get, good with common Hebrew words that we say all the time in the UK, or words that you may hear all the time that you may not understand, right? Like, for example, when brothers and sisters are around each other, because of certain people being around the school or being around for such a good amount of time, you start to pick up on the terminology. You start to pick up on the slang and the words of how we speak, how we talk, how we carry ourselves. So those are the words that we are going to go over today, all right? So these are going to be like some common words, okay? And if it's not so common, once you watch this class, we will get into it more in depth. So we are going to get into how to write it out in Hebrew, what is the actual Hebrew word, and how to write it out in the English as well, as far as the definition. Okay. So this is a class where you want to make sure that you actually take out notebook and pen and paper, put it in your phone somewhere, write it down somewhere, to where you have some notes of this class, because it's going to be pretty informative. Also, is going to be very useful in the future, because these words that I'm going to go over in Hebrew and also in English, we are going to use them in the future, right? So that way we can make sure that everybody is, getting used to it, understanding it, and we have a little bit of homework, all right? So, otherwise, once again, shalom to everybody. Pay your tithes. Passover is coming up on April 20th, 2024. Make sure that you pay that Passover fee, all right? So 17 and up, if you got a family, all right? So for the adults, it's $200 per adult, all right? As far as children are free, okay? But otherwise, make sure that you handle those fees as soon as possible. And if you want to handle those fees, that's on ishupk.com. Go to the website, and you hit the donate button. It should tell you exactly if you're donating or if you're paying for the Passover fee. But you have to hit the donate button, and it should tell you which one you should hit for the actual Passover fee. All right. Otherwise, we got the Florida Cookout coming up very soon. This month, I believe, in the 3rd or 4th week of this month. All right. I'll get back to everybody as far as the actual dates. Otherwise, share the content, like, comment, subscribe, do your thing, all right? So let's keep going. Give me 1 second here. Okay. All right, so let me see. Okay. All right, so once again, we are going to go over Hebrew words, all right? So vocabulary, because these vocabulary words are going to be used in the future. And if you want to know how to speak Hebrew, you got to be in these classes. This is where it's at. These classes are going to teach you how to speak the proper Hebrew. We are not speaking about modern Hebrew, which is called Yiddish. This is an ancient Hebrew class. There's a difference, okay? The so-called Jewish, who is, white, the Jewish, the Caucasians, they speak modern Hebrew, which is Yiddish. That's not actual Hebrew that comes from the Bible. All right, it's two different things. Right here is real history. And also, too, we throw in a little bit of, history and archaeology. We throw in a little bit more than just language in this type of class. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to it. Now, of course, before we actually get into the topic of the vocab words, we need to understand that we have some words right here that we got to get into, which is called the alphabet. As far as the alphabet, when it comes to ancient Hebrew, it's going to be right here at the top. All right? You got the 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 wa, the ta, ya, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, za, kwa, the ra, the sha, and the th. Okay? All right, so yes, so we've got a few, different words that we got to go over, or letters. All right, so for example, right here, this is the That's the This is the ba. This is the ga. This is the da. So we got the ba, the ga, and the da. We got the ha. We got the wa, W-A, the za, the ka once again, the ta, and we have the ya. All right, let me keep going. Of course, we got the ka, the la, the ma, the na, the sa, the I, the pa, y'all bear with me real quick. Okay. All right, let me see. All right. All right, so we have the wa, the ga, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka, the la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, za, kwa, ra, and sha. And also, lastly, of course, the th, right? So as far as the alphabet, this this is what you have right here. And of course, with Hebrew, we have to use these words, or better yet, these letters, in a way to where everybody can understand. Okay? So, once again, we have the letters in Hebrew, and we have to use these letters in a way to where everybody understands. We have to use it as examples. And that's what we are going to get into as far as the actual, vocab words. Okay? And there's a lot to cover. There's so many words that we have to cover to where we are going to use in the future, to where it may not make it to this class, it may be a part 2. All right? Give me 1 second. All right, so once again, starting off with the and once again, as far as Hebrew, everything is right to left, not left to right. So it starts right here, the ba, ga, da, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, ha, ta, za, kwa, ra, sha, ta. So that is the alphabet as far as the ancient Hebrew. Once again, this is not Yiddish. This is ancient Hebrew. Okay. Let's go ahead and erase this real quick. All right, so let's get into the actual vocab words. All right. All right, so we are going to start off with Yasha'ala. All right? Yasha'ala should be a common word that we always hear and speak about. Yasha'ala is literally who the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are, as far as the nation. All right. Yasha'ala. Some of these words we may have to actually break down. So I want y'all to be aware of that as well. So let me see. Okay. So Yasha'ala means Israel. Okay. All right. Yasha'ala means Israel. That's how you get Israelites. Yasha'ala is Israel, who are the Israelites. Understand that Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel later. When you read Genesis, what is it, the 34th chapter? Let me see. Okay, Genesis, the 35th chapter. Here we go. All right. So when you read Genesis, the 35th chapter, you see how Jacob had fought with an angel. When he fought this angel, the angel had broke the hollow of his hip. And he said, no more would your name be called Jacob, but your name will be called Israel. All right. And because of Jacob being the forefather, right, we have Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham, whose son is Isaac, and Isaac had a son whose name was Jacob. Jacob is the progenitor of the Israelites. The word progenitor means father of. Okay? So Jacob had 12 sons. And within those 12 sons, they became a whole nation over time. That's where you get the word generation. All right. So from generation to generation, if you guys are able to, be big as a family, sometimes you can be considered as a nation of people. All right. So, like for example, right, we know about the Rothschilds because they are a big family. They have been around for such a long time. The Smiths, the Johnsons, like some of these household names that we hear about all the time. Those are like that. That's what is considered to be a nation of people because of these names. Okay. Otherwise, as far as the Israelites, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all the way down to Issachar, has been around for such a long time. We have never left. We've always been here for such a long time, for many, many thousands and thousands of years. That's why we are still here today. Like so-called Black, Hispanic, and Indian people have always been around. Like all through history, you will see nothing but the Negroes, the Latinos, the Indians. You will see them everywhere in history because we have been around for such a long time. Because we are a people. So the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people, we are a family. Okay, and we are called, Israelites, or better yet, Israel. Israel is a nation, but we are Israelites. We are not Black. We are not Hispanic. We are not, Ojibwe, Blackfoot. That is not our title. But because of the captivity that we have been in, that's why we have those titles. That's why we know Spanish. That's why we know English. That's why we know so many different languages, except for ancient Paleo Hebrew. We don't know that because that is our original tongue. That's why the class is called Lashawan Qadash, because that is our native tongue. This is our language, not this language that I'm speaking right now, not the Espanol, not any other language that belongs to the oppressor. Understand the reason why we speak the language that we do right now is because it came from our oppressor. Think about the history of where you were captive at. You learned their language and you forgot your language. But yet, here we are. Yasha'Allah, Israel. Okay? All right, so let's see something. All right. Give me a second here. All right, here we go. Yasha'Allah, Israel, is also in Hebrew. Ya, Shar, because it's connected. La. So the Ya is by itself. The Sha and the Ra is connected. So the A drops off with the Ra. So the Ya by itself. The Sha and the Ra, Shar. Shar. The is by itself, and the La is by itself as well. That's why nothing gets dropped off. So Ya, Shar, La. Right next to each other, but not connected. Yasha'Allah, Israel. Yasha'Allah, Israel. And this is how you write it out in the Hebrew. Now, the reason why I put a blue line in between is because Yasha'Allah also means another thing as well. Okay? I'll give y'all that in a second. All right. So, as far as a prefix, the ya, it means he. It means he. Okay? All right? Shar means prince. And then Allah, or Allah, how you pronounce it really, means power. Now, mind you, Allah, we are going to get into this a little bit later. Either tonight or next week, Allah means more than just power. It has many definitions to it based on the context of the word. Okay? So, we have Yasha'Allah Israel, got it in Hebrew right here. What does it mean? Yasha'Allah, he, prince, power. And then you can put in a little bit of keywords in it too. You know what I mean? You want to plug in some words? He is prince of power. Anytime we say Yasha'Allah, prince of the power. And when we're speaking about prince of the power, we're talking about princes who are who? Men. He, meaning men. Prince of the power. That's what it is. Okay? Let me put that in there as well. There you go. Okay. All right. So, Yasha'Allah Israel. Yasha'Allah. He, prince, power. Moving on. All right, the word in Hebrew is malak. Malak. Malak means king in Hebrew, all right? Malak is king in Hebrew, okay? We also got an amazing brother in the school by the name of Malak, okay? Out there in Kansas City putting in great work. Right? All right. There you go. That's the Hebrew. The ma, which is M-A, right here. The la, which is L-A. And then the ka. But the ka is supposed to be K-A, but it drops off at the middle. I'm sorry, at the end. So the A drops off at the end because the la and the ka are connected together. So it's ma-lak. Ma, la, ka, malak. It's not going to be la, ka, it's going to be lak. So malak. All right? So the definition once again is going to be king. Okay? And that's really it. It's very self-explanatory. Nothing more to it. All right? Moving on. All right, the word is arataza. Okay? And if this helps, I'll put in some blue dots just to separate it just a little bit. Arataza. Arataza. Okay? Arataza is a word that we always hear during Sabbath service. We always hear any other time. But if you are reading the actual Hebrew for, if you're actually reading the Hebrew for Lashawan Qadash or Sabbath service, you may hear this word all the time, arataza. All right? And arataza simply means earth. Land or country. So earth, land, or country. Okay? That's what arataza means. And you will see that a lot when you are reading the scriptures and the Bibles and the books. Okay? All right. And this is the Hebrew for it. All right, so this is the Hebrew right here. Ra, to za. So the reason why we have these little, things underneath, these are called characters. And with these characters right here, it lets you know whether it's singular, or plural. So this is singular right here because it's not connected. If it's connected, that means that it's called a closed parenthesis. All right, this right here is singular. This right here is plural. I'll just put plural right there, all right? Plural. Okay? This right here, this symbol, is singular, meaning that it's by itself. The letter is by itself. So you will spell out the entire letter, which is up. Or the entire letter, which is up, right? Now, as far as this right here, this character, it would be plural, so that means that one letter is connected to the other. So that makes it plural. Okay, but each one is by itself. The the r, to the is all by itself. All three letters. All right, so yeah, otherwise it's called singular, open parenthesis. So like open, and otherwise if it's like this, upside down, it's called closed. Open parenthesis, closed parenthesis. Singular when it's like that, closed or plural when it's like this. Okay? That's what that means. All right, moving on. The word is Yawam. Yawam. Yawam is actually a word that we went over maybe like 2-3 weeks ago. All right. A couple of weeks ago, we went over this word, which means day in Hebrew. Okay. All right. The word Yawam means day in Hebrew. Okay. We went over this a couple of weeks ago. Also, too, going over the months of the week, the months of the year, the days of the week. We went over that as well. So that's what Yawam means, day. And when you read the Lord's Prayer, that's where you're going to see that word commonly, which is day, D-A-Y, day, Yawam. That's how you would say it in Hebrew. All right? Okay. All right. That's how you would write it out as far as the ancient Hebrew. Ya, which is right here. The wa and the ma, Yawam. Okay? Yawam. Right? All right. The word is Ayash. Some people, based on their accent, they may say Ayash, but it's really Ayash. Ayash. So A-H, Ayash. All right? Ayash or Ayash. Based on how you speak, where you come from, you may pronounce it differently. So otherwise, Ayash. Like we have a strong brother in Oklahoma City, or better yet, Oklahoma State, Ayash Kabawad. All right? Ayash Kabawad is a very strong militant soldier in the ISUPK. So, Ayash. Ayash means man or husband. So it could mean two different things. Ayash, man or husband. Man or husband. Ayash or Ayash. Okay? All right. Ayash. All right. And by the way, we're only going to focus on the Hebrew, not the Assyrian, which is right here at the bottom. I want to focus on the Hebrew more than anything first, and then we will get into the Assyrian another time. Okay? So yeah, Ayash. A-H, the Ya and the Sha is connected, but the A drops off from the Sha. So A-H, the Ya and the Sha, Yash. Ayash. Man and husband, or man or husband. Man, it can mean man in one context, or husband in another context as well. Okay? Just like every single word that we know of, it can have different contexts or meanings based on how you use it. All right? Let's go ahead and keep it going. All right, the word is Hanyam. 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 Slap it. Hanyam. All right. Hanyam is another common word. If you never heard it, I'm going to explain what this word means. Okay. The word means face. The word means face or appearance, right? That's what Hanyam means, face or appearance in Hebrew. When you get into Hebrew Academy, for those brothers who have never been a part of the extreme training, that we have in our ISUK, where you graduate with your cover. Okay, so if you saw me with a jacket or a cover with some Hebrew lettering, with a shield, the UPK shield in the back, or something in the front, that's the cover. All right, so you got to graduate Hebrew Academy in order to get that. So so once you are in Hebrew Academy, you will start to learn some of these words. Not all of them that I'm going to break down, soon enough. Otherwise, some of these words will start to pop up. Okay? Like, for example, Panyam is very similar to one word that you will see. Okay? All right, so moving on. Panyam means face or appearance. Otherwise, in Hebrew, Hun Yum. Hun is P-A, and then the Na is N-A. So Pun, the A drops off with the Na. So P-A-N. Looks like pan, but it's Pun. Pun, and then Yum. The Ya, Y-A, the Ma, M-A. But the A drops off at the end, so Yum. Pun Yum. Yum. Okay? One more word, and then we're going to erase it, and we go on to something else, as far as more vocab words. All right? All right. Also, too, as far as Panyum, I guess you could say face appearance or presence, but I'll just leave it right here. That's good enough. But yeah, all right. The Hebrew word is bayah. Okay? Bayah. Bayah means house. It means house, dwelling, house dwelling in, or better yet, temple. All right? So, Bayah means house, dwelling, temple. Right? That's what that means. Right? And then right here, the Hebrew. Scott, give me 1 second here. All right, but yeah, here you go. Okay. All right, so as far as the Hebrew, we have Yasha'Allah at the top. Yasha'Allah, Israel. That's how you say Israel in Hebrew. Yasha'Allah. This is how you write it out in Hebrew. Yasha'Allah simply means He, Prince, Power. So He is Prince of Power. Okay. Malak. Malak is a common word that we always hear all the time. Malak simply means king. But now, this brother in the school, once again, in Kansas City, his name is Malak. Amazing 5,000. All right? King. This is how you write it out in Hebrew. Arakazah. Arakazah, if you read the prayers, you would hear about, you will see this word or hear this word all the time. Okay? Arakazah. It means earth, land, definition. And this is how you write it out in the actual Hebrew, ancient Hebrew. We went over this a couple of weeks ago. The days of the week, Yawam. Yawam means day. And this is how you write it out in the Hebrew. Ayash. We got a brother in school by the same name, Ayash Kabawad in Oklahoma. All right, or, OKC. Ayash. It means man or husband based on the context. And here we go. This is how you write it out in Hebrew. Panyam. Panyam means face or appearance. And this is how you write it out in Hebrew. Bayah. Bayah means house, dwelling, or temple. Okay? When we go over the Feast of Tabernacles, yes. When we go over the Feast of Tabernacles, you will see this word pop up. All right? Now, of course, you will see other words that are similar to this, but there are like past tense, present tense, and future tense as well. So the word may change a little bit, but you will see the word bayah in the scriptures if you are reading in the Hebrew. Okay, you will see it. All right? So when we go into December, 7th, as far as the Feast of Hanukkah, okay, it still may come up as far as this word right here. We may see this word because we have to read all the high holy days and the holy convocation. So the feast days and the convocation days, right? So we will see this word eventually, right? Which means house, dwelling, or temple. It's a place where you live. So if you live in a house or apartment, that's your dwelling place. That's your temple. That's your house. Okay? And this is how you put it out here, right here in Hebrew. All right, so let's go ahead and erase this. and move on. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the next one. All right. All right, the word is Nathan. Nathan. When we read the Lord's Prayer, this is a common word that you will always see. Nathan. Nathan is a common word, right? Yeah. Nathan is going to be a common word that you're always going to see when you read the Lord's Prayer. Now the question is, what does Nathan mean? Now the reason why I put in a blue circle in between the na and the thun is because I want you to know how to pronunciate I want you to know how to pronunciate it better, okay? All right, so Nathan simply means a few things, all right? First is to give, all right? To give. And in another context, it's going to be put. Set. S-E-T. Permit. And if you know anything as far as a proposition, matter of fact, I'll just say this. Nathan means to give, put, set, permit. And there's one more. It means beside. All right? So, Nathan means to give, put, set, permit, or beside. Okay? So it means a couple of different things based on how we use the word. Like once again, every single word has different meanings. All right. So like for example, if you look in a dictionary right now, there's so many words, there's so many definitions and ways that you can use a word. Like for example, right? You say the word damn. Damn can be a good thing or a bad thing. A dam is actually a river, or a dam is something that flows. It's a flow of water. Okay, a dam is simply a water, like a waterfall. Like in Minnesota, we have something called Minnehaha Falls. Minnehaha Falls is simply a dam where water runs through the rocks and it falls over. It's called a dam because it goes over. It starts at the top and it goes down. It's called a dam. Okay? The same dam when it comes to animals. Something like beavers. Beavers live in an area of where dams are at. Dams is where there's a whole bunch of wood, rocks, and there's water just flowing through. You know what I mean? It's just going down and down and down a stream. like a little river, right? That's called a dam. Okay, it's like a big little waterfall, so on and so forth, right? Otherwise, sometimes we use damn as a curse word to where we are upset. Or sometimes we use damn as damn, like that looks good, as a form of expressing what we are saying in a good way or a bad way. There's so many ways that you can use words. You know what I mean? They have a lot of usage as far as it, right? So now, as far as the word Nathan, right? Nathan, it can mean to give in one context. It can mean put in one context, set, permit, or decide in another context. All right. All right. So, give me a second here. Give me 1 second here. Salaki. Right. All right. So, all right. Let's move on. Oh, Salaki. Gotta get the Hebrew real quick. All right. So that's the Hebrew, right? We got the na, the and the na again. Na is by itself right here. The and the na is connected, which is the thun. So, Nathan, all right? Nathan is to give, put, set, permit, decide. Otherwise, there goes the Hebrew. All right, let's get to it. Next one. All right, the word is ein. So it looks like an English word, right? But as far as Hebrew, it's not. It sounds like an English word. It looks like an English word, because in English, this is how you would say ein. You put in, this right here. All right, ein. You put that right there, and that makes ein, right? But otherwise, in Hebrew, it's just the I and the M. You ain't got to put no punctuation in there at all. Okay? It's just the I and the M. You ain't got to put no punctuation at all. Okay? It's I and M. Ein. Right? It's the I and the ma. Okay? You got the I right here, and then you got the ma. But the A drops off because it's going to be what? Connected. Right? All right. So, what does I mean in Hebrew? So, I, you have what is, all right, so definition is going to be people. All right, people. Tribe, like the tribe that you are from. Troops. And then lastly, a flock. All right? A flock. So, what does I mean? It means people, tribe, troops, or a flock. Okay? Think of a flock as a group of something. Like the Most High says that we are his flock, and his flock shall hear his voice. What does that mean? That means that the children of Israel, who is God's chosen people, we are a nation, which we are a flock. We shall hear the Most High's voice when it is spoken. Now, are we going to actually hear his voice? No. It's talking about his words that are in the Bible. Okay, in this Bible, we are going to hear his words. All right, we are going to understand his laws, statutes, and commandments. Not everybody is going to get it. But for those that do, you will understand what is being said. You would never, ever hear the Most High's voice. You know what I mean? You would never, ever hear his voice directly talking into your head. If you hear a voice in your head, that means that you got to go to the doctor. That's what that means. You got to go get checked out. Because the Most High is not going to speak directly to you in that manner. He's going to speak to you in different ways. There's many ways to talk to people without using your mouth, without speaking words. All right? And if you don't understand that, you gotta come to class. You gotta get in tune with society and how the world works. All right? So that's what that means. So you gotta understand that I means people, tribe, troops, and a flock. All right? A flock just means like a group of things, or a group of people, a group of animals. Because a flock can be like animals, people, so on and so forth, depending on the context. Okay? All right. So once again, if anybody got any questions, go ahead and ask it in the chat. We'll go ahead and get into it. Salakia, you said what now? You said nonverbal communication. What do you mean? I'm not understanding. What exactly are you saying? All right. Let me go ahead and move on. All right, the Hebrew word is Yad. Yad. Y-A-D. Yad. It's not Yad, it's Yad. The Ya, so Yad. That's how you pronounce it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, Khan. Now I get it now. No sweat. Khan, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I definitely understand. Khan. Yeah. All right. So, Yad. Yad is Y-A-D. Okay. What that simply means is all right. So Yad means hand. It means hand or strength. All right, it means hand or strength. Okay. All right, once again, make sure that you write this down, man. For the brothers and sisters that are watching, make sure that you write this down, because we already went over a group of words, just about maybe